So, it's the day we've all been waiting for, and it is very, very weird. Clay woke up and chose violence with hotfix number 7, which has me believing hotfix number 8 is right around the corner, if you know what I mean. But if you don't, I think you will once we do start off with the tweaks to insanity overall, as oddly enough, Clay apparently doesn't want us to help our friends with their nightmares anymore. Now, that is a bit of an exaggeration, of course. However, I think it still stands, because if we ourselves are above 50% sanity, we can not only not attack a nightmare that isn't ours anymore, but we will now have to force attack them if we are below 50% sanity to boot, making for more annoyance, honestly. Yeah, this is a mind-boggling change that should be reworked or removed as soon as possible, in my opinion. But with that bit of laundry out of the way, let us focus on the new Maxwell changes specifically. Yes, folks, Shadow Prison itself has been messed with heavily, and now has a veritable duration based on the type of mob we have trapped, and whether or not said mob is being attacked by us. Most normal mobs will now be in prison for 24 seconds if nothing is fighting them, while every single boss in this game will now sit in jail for but 12 seconds instead. Now that's not terrible if all you're doing is running or wanting to buy some time here and there, but once combat begins, all of that gets thrown out the window. If you are trapping and fighting normal mobs, the prison should only last for roughly 16 seconds, and if what you are fighting happens to be a boss, you will only have about 8 seconds to work with following these tweaks. Yeah, also not a popular change, I'm gonna say, especially once you also factor in how more players means even less prison time. A forumer did the math, and Clay themselves helped clarify a thing or two, but in the end, even but 4 players can see a dip down into the 6 to 12 second range for the Shadow Prison overall, as you can see. Now, I personally do not mind the idea behind cages being worse on bosses. However, this is just too overly complicated for its own good. So once again, rework this or revert it. To continue though, Shadow Sneak continues to be looked at too, and can now not only not be triggered by things that are not impacted by it, that being bosses 99% of the time, mind. It will also now work on Dragonfly's larvae, Birch Nutters of all things, and also Fuel Weaver's woven shadows here. Now the first and last ones could be quite interesting, however trapping Dragonfly in place negates most of the potential anyways, and is still the better option, while having to juggle everything else during this fight before you, while also now trying to buy a few more seconds to kill the wovens, is going to be a pain solo, and likely very worthless while in a group of even just 2. So yeah, it sounds cool on paper, and could be cool in game here and there, but I'm gonna call this pretty ignorable too. If you're also spawning Shadow Duelists, that is. If you're just fighting this as Maxwell, and then using your spells only during the woven phases, it might actually be kinda awesome. But let us move on to what might be really the only positive change in this entire hotfix itself, the slight tweak to how long summoning speed is. We can now cast pretty much any spell in roughly 2 seconds, which is down from about 3. Maybe a bit more. And it's a nice change, but maybe we should just have a way to cancel the entire freaking process at any time instead. And speaking of canceling, the Celestial Champion Phase 3 can now cancel pretty much everything Maxwell's offensive capabilities has to offer us nowadays, as not only will the thing try to flee the blades of our Shadow Duelists, just like it would with other players chasing after it, but its enlightening snares now also damage these duelists as well. Combine this with a shortened prison time, and you're pretty much better off kiting this thing yourself at the end of the day. Which is okay, I guess, as it is the final boss after all, because I am in agreement with Clay. Shadow Duelists should not be able to do everything for us. But speaking of kiting, some mobs might be a bit harder to dodge after today, if you can believe it, due to a change to their AoE attacks. Ancient Centipedes, all of the Eyes of Terror, and even the Celestial Champion Phase 1 itself have all gotten a slightly bigger hitbox in this hotfix, meaning we will have to stray further away than usual during our kiting patterns to avoid their hits. Yes, it's a thing. At least until hotfix number 8, that is. And there you have it, everyone. A somewhat deflating overview of the newest update to the update that shared some truly baffling changes to not just Maxwell, but the multiplayer side of the game as a whole. well. Now, it might just be me not feeling good lately, however, this is an absolute train wreck of a hotfix in my mind, so let us hope things get reworked and refined soon. But thanks for watching, folks. Well wishes to all. Hotfix number 8 is feeling like it's absolutely coming out like tomorrow, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye.